Here's Sean Hannity.
Okay.
Josh Hawley. Two of the feminist champions that we have seen over the years who are bringing up the feminist position. Wasn't Josh Hawley talking about how we need to reestablish the traditional family, just like
Yes.
I don't know,
and
3
restore
weeks ago?
masculinity? There's a crisis about it
Masculinity's under attack, right?
from Pornhub.
Yeah.
Right. So here we have two of America's leading foremost feminists concerned that people are somewhat concerned about the fact that a Supreme Court justice who is bound to hear questions surrounding voting in the 2020 election and future elections, dealing with Donald Trump and maybe even the attack on the Capitol, has a wife who is a paid operative to actually do everything, to be specifically involved. I mean, also, the Supreme Court may hear stuff about whether Donald Trump needs to hand over those 7 hours worth of missing records that seem to have been. For all we know, we know that Ginni Thomas was texting the chief of staff. Maybe she was calling or texting Trump.
Yeah.
The Nixon vibes are all over this. Like Nixon famously started doing all the taping because I think perhaps really thought that he himself was being taped. The projection is really insane on this. So like Ginni Thomas having these insane beliefs and also conspiring behind the scenes to actually do a conspiracy is Republican sort of the MO.
Exactly. And to be clear, Nixon thought that he didn't want anybody to cut up tapes and make him look bad. So he's going to keep his own tapes to make sure that he looks bad in the way that he looks bad.
Yeah, those hours are privileged, actually. My burner phones are presidential privilege.
But let's hear the feminists absolutely not get the point.
Yeah. Let me go to the case of Clarence Thomas. Okay, so Clarence Thomas's wife has opinions. Is she not free to express them? I think it would be natural for people that are dating, people that are married. There probably are a number of issues people disagree on, a number of issues they agree on. If that's the case, if that's the standard now Democrats want to set, wouldn't that apply to Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and the laptop? And wouldn't Joe equally have to be impeached himself or recused? As
Wait, can you pause? I know the whistle on the S's is horrible. Is the left making a claim that Ginni Thomas and Clarence Thomas cannot have intramarital discussions about politics?
No.
Okay, just making that clear.
But I love the part. Go back just a little bit, because Hannity's going to make the argument that Joe Biden should recuse himself.
We have to listen to more of his whistling S's?
Right.
Okay.
Sorry. But I want you to think, as Sean Hannity says this, what would Joe Biden recuse himself in regard to the Hunter Biden investigation?
I'm no longer your father.
Listen, Jack.
I would like to see Joe Biden come out and resign from the Hunter Biden investigative task force, and also the Hunter Biden.
It's a conflict of interest.
He shouldn't be on that task force. And the idea that they have this plan at the White House where Joe Biden's going to sit in as for the judge on the day that Hunter Biden shows up, that just seems wrong to me. But continue.
If that's the case, if that's the standard now Democrats want to set, wouldn't that apply to Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and the laptop? And wouldn't Joe equally have to be impeached himself or recused, as they're trying to do to Clarence Thomas?
Yeah, I look forward to all of the calls for Joe Biden's resignation from all of these Democrats on exactly the same logic that you just outlined, Sean. So, if Hunter Biden ends up getting indicted, as looks increasingly likely, then I guess the president needs to resign for that. I mean, here's the bottom line. This is ridiculous, these attacks on Justice Thomas. And the idea that Ginni Thomas, his wife, is supposed to sign off on her texts and on her work with her husband as if he's in charge of her in some way. Isn't that misogyny? Isn't that exactly what the Democrats are always saying that they're against? But the truth is that they will take any avenue they can to try and smear Justice Thomas. And Republicans have got to stand up against it and say, we're not going to let you smear and rig the Supreme Court, which is what they're trying to do.
I love how Hawley came so close to saying, like, the Democrats, and he's right. I do think that it's inappropriate to hold Clarence Thomas to account for what Ginni Thomas does. I think Ginni Thomas is her own person. But there is such a concept of conflict of interest, and this is it. There is no other example that one could have beyond this that would be any more illustrative of a conflict of interest. Or, and I should remind you, the concept of conflict of interest is not just a direct conflict of interest. It is the appearance of a conflict of interest.
I mean, that's out the window. Appearance of impropriety is something we got to bring that back, folks.
Josh Hawley came so close to saying, I thought the Democrats were against misogyny. I mean, that's what we believe.
Yeah, right. He didn't. It was just a total Greenwald, an opportunity to call out Democratic hypocrisy while still maintaining one's odious position. Like, there's not really necessarily, any moral high ground that he's taking there. But I love the idea that they're going to come out. I would love for them to really adopt this. I mean, because I agree with him. Joe Biden shouldn't be anywhere near any type of investigation or adjudication of Hunter Biden's activities. Yeah.
And I think we can all agree with that. Let's do it with the Supreme Court justice.
And did Hunter Biden's laptop dick pics pose an existential threat to United States democracy? I'm just trying to make sure.
It could. Yeah. It depends on what the pictures look like. Watch out, America.